Brash here. Just a message from the Donny East huddle, and I'm pretty happy, obviously, with the situation. They've got the game well under control, but Ryan just said he wants the boys to continue to make Doncaster defend one-on-one. He wants them to own the midfield, and the big thing is just to finish off the game, even though the score is blown out to a 10-goal margin. He wants them to keep going right till the very end.
Well, I think percentage is going to come into it this year, Brash, in the Premier Division, such for that last final spot, that sixth spot, or even fifth, or so on. So that's definitely a smart move from Ryan James. And yeah, defending one-on-one, and the way they do that is the way they move the ball quickly, and they use the whole width of the ground. So you can't, as a team defence, that's how you separate them. If a defence is really compact, you've got to keep moving the ball side to side, stretch them out, and isolate that one-on-one as we go down to Steve White.
Yeah, look, Christinakis understandably upset about the performance there in that third quarter. He was just saying that they didn't respond the way, they didn't hold themselves accountable. So he's looking for at least some effort going into this quarter to go into the changes with their head held high.
Steve, is he putting it down all to effort there, or is there some tactical things that he thought they could do better?
Yeah, he just basically said that there's no real effort and no real drive and no real spirit. It seems like 5 minutes into that third quarter, so he's looking just for some more drive from the players.
Well, thank you very much to Steve and Besto. Done some great job down there on the boundary line. Gav, what are you hoping for? Can you see Doncaster piling on 9 or 10 goals unanswered?
No, but at least they can bring the scoreboard a bit more respectability and play it that they can actually be very dangerous going forward. They've just got to get some numbers around the contest and then forward of the ball as well. At boundary, it's back in the middle as Shrams reserve. Doncaster, the home side, win the free kick, and it's Malloy getting it over the shoulder, hands it off to Coughlin. He's been running good, even though he had a twisted ankle maybe for a little bit there in the second term. Ground level ball, nearly road. Vickers bounces off his opponent as Haswell dealt with him, and the ball bounced off hands and out of bounds in the forward pocket for Doncaster.
I might have tried a little experiment to get Vickers in the game. I might have put him in the midfield, give him a chance to use his speed and creativity, I reckon.
Even half back, he's a good ball user.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily have to play on the ball, but yeah, get him where the ball is as it's thrown in deep in the Sharks forward line. And we'll have another stoppage. So Jamar going up against Tom Gordon. Tom Gordon done a fabulous job, of course, after last year's horrific injury. It's just great to see him back out there. Simon White roved that beautifully, got the handball off to Appleby. And then Appleby off the side of the boot, and Spencer gobbles it up. So this is probably the first time he's taken an intercept mark today, Jake Spencer. And he'll go back to where it came from. He's looking for Vanderhaar. He's in the back position, and he's going to give away a free kick, even if he didn't have the mark taken by Connor Haswell.
That's a good mark by Haswell,
isn't it? Handball to White, short to Heath. So this is that play that they've been talking about. They want to be a bit more purposeful with their ball use, and there'll be another free kick off the ball wheel there. It's Carlson is just knocking Doncaster East players all over the shop. And now there's going to be a 25-minute penalty. Get him off the ground and drop him to the twos, to be honest. That's pretty disgusting. You're down by, 51 points. You got away with the first one because the umpire said play on, get up. And then the second bloke comes in, you put him down as well. You got to feel bad for Christinakis there, Brash, because what can he do? He wants them to give effort, and blokes are just walking around flattening people.
It's the last thing you want to do right now when you're that far behind. And it just looks like he's almost a lack of effort. He's given that. It's it's 5 p.m. already.
Ryan shared it with Haswell, and they're just taking their time now. It's a bit easy for Donny East, but the kick might have bit off more than it can chew. And Santoro, though, does fetch it, and he runs around, gives it to Gordon, who shares it out wider. And they're just possession tempo footy now as it's in the hands of Green for Doncaster East. Outer wing. As the scoreboard's very good reading for them. Doncaster East 11-17-83, leading by 51 points over Doncaster 5-2-32. And White gets on the end of a short pass. His pass won't miss the target, and he hits up Heath, who's been a great player today. Heath now from the left half-back goes to right half-back, and it'll be another mark just with some pressure on Jones, but he took a mark earlier in this possession of possession in terms of it's just really circle work for Doncaster East.
They've had 30 possessions with gainage of 15 yards, Gav.
Well, they're playing out the 30, but Locke now picks it up off a touch ball, so they'll try to work it through the middle. Inject some pace through Appleby. Appleby goes to left flank, but coming in and coming off his opponent. Well done by Tweedy, who took the risk, and he was awarded with a mark in front.
He's tried hard.
So he goes short and finds Hendon, who again, when he's got the foot, he's shown a bit, but hasn't got enough of it. Nice looking kick out in front of Vickers.
Oh,
Has he done well to pluck it? They're going to pay the mark to the man in front.
that has to be Ryan's because
I reckon Ryan's got 60% of that, but the man in front
80.
got Vickers over the line, so he plays on immediately. Goes long inside forward 50. Spencer's the target. Van der Haar flew, and in the end, Ollie came across and spoiled. Picking up his Haswell, but there's going to be a free kick for holding the man, and it's going to go the way of Todd Van der Haar. He's been pretty quiet today, but he looks like he might have a shot at goal here. He's, 45-degree angle in that far right forward pocket at Shram's reserve, and he'll kick from about 35, 40 metres to bring this margin back to 45 points.
It's been a good little clash, that Ryan and Vickers contest. Two young blokes going at it. I think Ryan's taken the points, though.
Van der Haar comes in, couple of steps, kick, looked pretty good off the boot. I think it's thudded into the woodwork there. No, just slid across the face, so one behind.
No, it did hit the post.
5-3-33 Doncaster. Doncaster East 11-17-83 as we go to Score Centre with Jared Beanland.
And just quickly, Don Vale have slammed on 5 goals straight to take the lead against Warrandyte. That's 9-4-58 against 5-10-40.
1 and 2 start for the Bloods, if that's the go there, Gav.
That's interesting. But Donny East, they're just playing possession football at half back, and when they think they can get the corridor owned, they'll try to go through the middle, but they're just not finding the pass. Haswell's been on the end of a couple of passes. Here's the centre kick as it finds its way to Jones Hughes, and under pressure he takes a nice overhead. Now the runners are coming through. Long to Rowe. Rowe versus Coughlin. Rowe didn't even need to use his body. He stood tall and no contact came his way, and he took an overhead mark 40 metres from goal.
Look at that replay. There was the kick into the middle there which found Jones Hughes, but there was 4 Doncaster players who couldn't get to him in time, and then by all going to him, there was just runners everywhere, and yeah, they just get sucked to the ball, and they're not fit enough to do that.
So it's an interesting, I think they know they're controlling the game, that they're controlling it so much that they dictate when they go through the corridor. And it's Rowe from 45 metres out, not much of an angle. He's a inconsistent kick at goal, and this one's dropped short, and a mark drop fingers off for Tweedy, and it's a minor score. So Rowe's kicking has let him down in terms of scoreboard. He's kicked 2-4 today, but he's been a great player, especially in this second half.
He's not the only one as Tweedy brings it out. If they kick straight in that first quarter, Gav, we could be talking 100 points.
We'd be telling our own stories, I reckon, between ourselves.
Coughlin, probably been Doncaster's best player, goes up the line. Not sure who exactly to, but it's fallen in the hands there of a Shark, and he gives the handball off to the runner, Quimballen, and he was the runner, and he ran into trouble. DeLuca, short ball, Shalakis just over his head, he'll gather, got met by Coman, broke free of the tackle, handball to Saravolo, handball to Whitling on his left boot, hooked it. 11-19-85 Doncaster East, Doncaster 5-3-33.
Tobin Brothers' point of the day.
Well, it's up that we've had so many contenders. We have had so many contenders as Ramboldi brings it back in. Ryan James will be still disappointed as he goes way up the centre because they want that percentage booster, don't they, Brash? As Vickers has got it from out the back, and he goes with the barrel. Didn't quite get the connection. Ryan's back there. It's a 2-on-1. Jamar's got no speed, and Gordon comes off him and spears the ball into Jackson Green at centre half back. He chips it into the corridor. They're toying with them now. He goes wide. It looks like Haswell went wider to Whitling. Handball over top to Locke. He's got a runner inboard if he wants him. Locke, though, on the opposite boot, pops it out in front of Phelan. Ramboldi does well to get there. Phelan brought it to ground. Will he go back and get it? No, he won't. He'll allow his teammate to come through. His handball over the top, though, works out to Coman. Coman to Hendon. Hendon to Mahon. And then Mahon up the line. Simon White should mark this. He marks this every day of the week.
Especially on Saturdays.
Especially on Saturday. He marks them all day of the week, and he's marked it on this Saturday. Goes into the corridor. Great kick to Appleby. Brash's favourite for the Eastland player of the day. He's got Saravolo short if he wants him. Rowe's on the lead. Look at that kick. Beautiful kick onto the chest of Samuel Rowe. And he'll have another shot. This time, will he? No, he'll kick over the top to Chris Phelan. He's kicked straight all day. That's not the worst idea. Give it to him. And he'll line up from the pocket as we go. Boundary side to Brett Bester. No, sorry, Bester. He's gone short to Appleby. They are toying with them, the Lions. Please stop it. We need to cross to Besto.
Thanks, boys. Jack Shalakis just came past me, and he looks pretty proper. He's done his ankle, I think. I doubt that we'll see him back today.
Now, Appleby's going to line up. Gav, he had a couple of shots in that third quarter.
It's like pass the parcel, but there's no music playing, boys. Someone can kick for goal. It'd be great.
They're passing it for the sake of passing it. Like, there was a beautiful kick from Appleby to Rowe before. It deserved him to go back and kick it from 50, but nonetheless, Appleby, if he kicks this, I reckon he's got player of the day wrapped up. 20 metres out, slide angle, kick. As missed. So it's up for grabs still, the player of the day. 11-20-86 Doncaster East, Doncaster 5-3-33. Brash.
15 goals, 31 Norwood kicked last week against Doncaster. So they had 46 shots. This is heading very much the same way.
What is it about them, Gav?
Yeah, they're doing something right. But it's now the long kick out. No mark taken for Doncaster, but ground level ball. They're flowing through Anarchis. Anarchis kicks it on the outside of his right boot and gets it to the left wing. So that was a nice touch by him as his kick found his teammate in Barassi. Barassi goes long to half forward. Jamar's underneath it. He looks tired and dejected as it goes past him and out of bounds.
And they're standing the mark well.
I reckon Chris would be disappointed with a couple of his senior players, Coleman and Malloy, hardly been in the contest today at all.
Jared Beanland, score centre.
We've got some Div 1 scores here. Mooralbark really pulling ahead from Montrose 12-10-82 to 7-9 and Beaconsfield, well, Bayswater, good accuracy accuracy in general might have put paid to Bayswater's efforts here. Beaconsfield 11-3-69 to 6-13-49.
Oh, Vickers was smart to get that free kick because if you're watching on the stream, he ducked his shoulder into the tackle and the tackler was like, there's no way I could tackle him anywhere but his shoulder, and impeding was Jones, but that was smart by Vickers. Got down low, rolled himself into the tackler, and he got a free kick on the boundary line as Spencer knocked it down to Anarchis. Anarchis put a hand pass forward, and he hoped someone was there, and Vickers did well by him close to the boundary line. So it's going to be, this could be Tobin Brothers' goal of the day just by degree of difficulty. So he's put it on the bend and it's got no bend. It's gone to the opposite pocket and nearly out of bounds on the full, but off hands. It's a boundary throw in from the opposite pocket.
Yeah, he went the drop punt there, Gav, which is interesting.
I think he tried to put some bend on it, but he actually flushed it straight.
Some swang, some swerve. They've thrown in. Jamar got the hit out into the corridor. Nice hit, but no one was coming through. Eventually Hendon got there, got his little kick smothered. And then the line's clear to the outer side. Jacoby there with Heath, and Heath just got rid of him. In the end, coming through is Milford Robertson. Hooks it back to where it came from. We've done circle work here. Who's underneath it? Anarchis flies. And it's a good mark. It's a really strong mark taken there by Jake Whitling. He's an underrated player.
Hasn't done much wrong either, Whitling, today.
We need to get the Telstra tracker out there on Whitling. I'd love to see how many Ks he covers. If one of our sponsors is listening and has a couple of GPSs, we'd love to plug him into the broadcast as Riley Jones goes high, up and under down the wing. Should be all the Sharks, and in the end, not the first time today, 4 Sharks have managed to not take possession and just spill it over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. So we go to score centre with Jared Beanland. Some
Div 2 scores. Templestowe have absolutely hit a wall. They kicked the first 5 goals of the game. South Belgraven now up against them at 6-13-49 to Templestowe 5-3-33. And speaking of 6-13-49, that's the score of the Basin up against Baronia 7-6-48. 1 point leaders there.
And now Doncaster trying to work their way forward. They'll get the umpire giving them a free kick as making it obvious was Milford Robertson running onto the ball, tackled without it. So that was Marn. He hands it off to Hendon. Goes along, hoping for a fly. Nearly won there by Vander. He got up high, but the ball was nowhere near him by the end as it falls to the ground and it's out wide, hitting Jones Hughes. And now they'll quickly get away from the crime scene. Donny East, they go from half back to half forward very quickly, as they don't share it too well and it spills out off hands and out of bounds.
That's probably the best thing Todd Van Haar's done all day, and he didn't actually do anything.
Their transition from the back line, Doncaster East, has been really good all day, and I think that's probably their little. We underestimate just how strong of a setup they've got back there, led by Simon White, who's just that reliable.
They hold their width there. Jones Hughes could have easily been sucked closer to the corridor, but because he stayed wide, they had an out kick as they get this ball inside forward 50 once again. The bounce is done Tweedy there. Unfortunate for him. Phelan's got it, and umpire says give it to me just as he dropped it. So unfortunate for the Sharks. So 12 minutes gone in this last quarter. Phelan been pretty quiet, but that's probably something Ryan James will be happy with, that not all their stars have really had dominant days. Spencer's ended up with the footy, kick to a horrible spot if you're a Sharks defender. Whitling's underneath it. Tackle, got his handball out to Phelan. Phelan sits on top of it, wants to slap it forward, can't in the end. The Sharks players just dive in. It's like a rugby maul. Hendon comes out with it, got the handball to Marn. He sweeps the handball towards Coughlin. Scala has intercepted it, and we'll get another ball up 25 metres out from the Doncaster East goal. So, yeah, it's just so tight. There's no, like I said, I keep repeating myself, there's no width. Spencer just takes out the ruck and says, I can't be bothered tapping it down to you blokes. I'm going to take it out myself. I've got to kick up the line and found a target in Mazzini. Gave it to Marn. Handball over the top to Quinvillan.
Don't want to go on along with him.
He goes up the line as well. Vickers might be the target, but the kick's way too long and too wide, and Tom Gordon's able to come across and gather it. His low spearing ball is slapped out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throwing 80 metres out.
What's the use of Jamar today? He's just standing in the goal square because he can't run.
Well, it's a liability to go.
He's playing like a Daniel Badome, but Daniel Badome's playing in a team, again, not the same standard, but in a team that has a lot of the ball. Doncaster East don't have a lot of the ball. They need quick forwards that can run back to goal, don't they, Gav?
Yeah, it's just one of those days for Jamar where he doesn't have the energy. Not to say that he won't do a good job, but if he can't get to the contest with Gordon, he's not in the game. As now it's Doncaster East off half-back sharing it around. Appleby again runs onto it, but he runs into a tackle, and Marn wraps him up, and that was nice strength by Marn this time. Tackling.
Well, it's probably hurt him more because Gordon's just been able to have almost a free reign to go wherever you want and no one's going to be following you. And because Doncaster East have controlled it so much.
Quick score around the ground. Rowville 14-17, 101. North Ringwood 6-7-43. Thanks to Ray Baird for that one. There's a shot on goal here. Tom Gordon, goalkeeper save. Put the left paw out and Riley Jones runs away with it. He's got a target out here in Stoneham. Stoneham stepped out of one tackle, got the handball off. It would have been a training run if his teammate could have clung onto it. Well done by Vanderhaar, got the handball back. Thiel round the body. Vickers is the target, but sliding in to take the mark looks to be Riley Jones in the back pocket. And once again, Doncaster East repel any attack the Sharks have made. They trail by 53 points, the home side. The Lions have, bar goal kicking, been dominant today. Anarchis came through, made an intercept. Gordon will go back and get it, though, under pressure. He just keeps it in front of himself. And the two old Bulls knock it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
We did allude to at the start of the contest that any opportunity that Tommy Gordon was going to run off Jamar was going to be to a Doncaster East advantage, and that's exactly how it's played out all afternoon.
Rucks go at it. Spencer runs onto the bouncing ball as it drops short of the contest. It comes out to Doncaster on the outer circle of that stoppage, but it's stolen out of grasp by Green. Green couldn't run himself out of a tackle. That halfback so will hand it back to the field umpire. So scoreboard reads Doncaster East 11-20-86, leading Doncaster 5-3-33. Now it's back in play. Whitling again, getting onto the ball, gives it to White. They just whack so beautifully at the halfback, and it's now Doncaster East kicking long to the wing, but Tweedy in good position, running to the boundary line, stretches the right palm out, brings it into his grasp and takes the mark. Goes inside the corridor now. Long ball to centre forward. The Flyers sort of don't fly, and it falls down to ground level. Two grabs at it. Is that a mark paid or just a disputed ball? So it'll be a ball up 40 metres from goal as White laughs about what's going on, and picking himself up is Vickers. He's tried hard, but it's finding it hard to get into open space today. Ground level, there's a heap of players around it as everyone seems tired. At the back of the pack, Malloy picks it up. He throws it on the boot from 45. That might be... Oh, no, it's off to the left. It looked like it was bending, and the goal umpire refused to go with it.
Maybe our depth perception off, because it eventually came through the centre.
From our view, it looked like.
Maybe we'll trust the goal umpire, but that bent centre was very close.
Look, I don't think it's going to influence the contest, Gab, but we want to get everything right. 16 and a half minutes gone, 5-34.
So anyway, Malloy kicked a point.
He did kick a point. Doncaster East 11-20-86. Steve White on the boundary.
I was going to say, that's probably the front runner for behind of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to give that award out. There's been so many. Gordon brings out, looking for Rowe. Kick got out the back. Here's Carlson. Can he get a disposal? No, he can't. And I reckon there's a few Doncaster East players that will want to get into him. Carlson has been more focused on the man than the ball, I think it's fair to say today. As they have another ball up. Hit out from the Lions. Coming through his tail. And just shoved over the line by James Locke. Stronger, fitter, and they've moved the ball better today, the Lions. Doncaster are going to have a hard look on the training track and figure out how they can make this work. They've defended too deep and they've not had enough width around the ball to create any sort of actual chain from clearances. The Lions once again walk it out of the stoppage. Handball in the direction of Whitling, who just keeps running. Look at the burst of speed, left the ball behind. Little handball through. DeLuca wants his left boot. Run down by Rambaldi. Umpire says holding the ball. DeLuca says he got a handball to it. I can see both sides of the argument.
He had prior.
Overton plays on immediately. Kick to Marn, made him work. Marn's got an option short, ignores him. Goes long down the line, looking for the lead of Vanderhaar. But sitting in the hole and doing well is Mitchell Ryan. Been impressive all day, the youngster. Coming through Jacoby, been quiet. Quinlivan left it behind, and then Jacoby got wrapped up by Simon White. And we'll have a ball up on the half-forward flank for the Sharks.
Yeah, it's just been a tale of woe this afternoon for Doncaster.
So ball up again. Not sure who's rucking here. It will be Spencer eventually. Took it out of the ruck, got a kick, and then it's hacked out of there. Will it fall onto a Doncaster chest? It won't. And this plays, you're right, Brash, he's been very impressive, Mitchell Ryan. I don't know whether he's a Beverly Hills product, I'm not exactly sure, but he's been impressive. Brings it in the corridor. Early whistle for Paparonis on the mark. Umpire eventually said play on and then said...
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball? No.
Yes.
Pointing the wrong way, I thought. Sorry, just pointed the wrong way. Holding the ball, going the way of Todd Van der Haar. Opportunistic, because Paparonis really should have gobbled that mark.
Yeah, just a little fumble there by Paparonis. That was all it was. Van der Haar pounced, and
Well, he can make a quiet day better, because if he kicks this, he'll at least have his name in the proverbial paper, the hypothetical paper. He'll have it online, Todd Van der Haar, on a pretty much quiet day for him. He keeps it low, kicks it through the middle. So Doncaster get the first goal and only goal of this quarter. They are 6-4-40. They trail by 46 points. Doncaster East 11-20. Yes, 20-86 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we go to the score centre with Jared Beanland.
Boronia have hit the front once again. They are up by a goal, 6-54 to 6-13, 49. Oakley District making a decent account of themselves, 9-5, 59 to Knox, 11-13, 79.
And Brash, that would leave the base in 0-3. I know that they've played Ringwood, Heathmont and Boronia, but it's pretty hard to make finals from 0-3.
it is. But I still reckon there might be a bit of time left in that game, I reckon, Matt.
So again, Ollie went up against Spencer. Locke picks it up, hands it off to the running player, and now they're going in through was Ryan. Ryan gets it to Phil, and he has to pick it up on the bounce. Get in the tackle, he gets the kick on. Rowe pushes one off, tries to go 2 for 2 as he takes on Tweedy, but Tweedy stands up nicely, and McGarnis gets back onto the ball, and Phelan becomes his tackler as Rowe just feels like he's had a good day. He'll just try to inject himself into a contest and maybe snap another.
What's he got? Phelan's got 3, Rowe's got 2, so maybe they've got a competition between themselves, Gav.
It's big problems here. And what's Green going to do? He danced his way out of trouble, and then he kicked it backwards, and Rowe was like, why is it with me? And now it's kicked out of defence by Marn, but Marn is high and wide, and how did that stay in? It might have gone out and then drifted back in, so it's Ollie going to get a hand pass received. His hand pass doesn't get caught, and now another kick by Ryan, and Tweedy just stands there and goes, oh, I took a mark, thank you very much.
A comedy of errors is how I'd put that, Gav.
Tweedy now takes a bounce. He's looking for the overlap. The overlap finally there through Ramboldi. Ramboldi goes inboard, finds to Coughlin. Coughlin's got a spearing pass going, but the 2 defenders who zone in come and pick it up through Haswell. Haswell to Whitling. Whitling's going to run. He's done it all day. Long ball to Rowe. Rowe stands his position. McGarnis, brilliant. He had the punch and then he grasped it in and he pushes off Rowe, but his teammates are not helping him. They can't get it out of defence. Hoverton dropped it, spilled it under pressure. Here's Donny East. They can't in the open goal get it to the line, and every kick they have, they rush it when they need to have composure, and another minus score.
And they did the Charlie Haley bounce, Gav.
They rush so beautifully, and then it just goes all pear-shaped near goals. 11-21, 87 leading Doncaster 6-4-40.
Brash makes a good point. Doncaster, 15-21 last week, 11-21 this week. If the opposition could kick straight, it could be a whole lot worse for the Sharks. Scala smothered the kick from Tweedy, and then Rowe is able to wrap it up, and they'll have another stoppage here to Lions. And yeah, you're right, but I reckon they started so badly in front of goal. It's in their minds, the Lions. I don't think they're notoriously a bad goal-kicking side.
Yeah, they're just high octane, and it's sort of they run out of puff when they see the goals.
Anarchis ducked into his own player. That's how close all the Sharks players are. Coughlin, been their best, stepped inside traffic and kicked long down the line. Carlson came across, connected with some bodies and found the footy. Gave it to Barassi. Barassi goes short, got a target and finds him in Van der Haar. Van der Haar's got a deep forward, looks to be Jacobi. He ignored him. Vickers is running back to goal. That's where the kick's gone. Gordon zoned off beautifully. Read it all the way. Couldn't bring it down. Vickers picked his pocket. Left foot snap. Bending too much. One behind. That would have been Tobin Brothers' goal of the day. 6-5-41 Doncaster. Doncaster East 11-21 87 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 22 minutes gone. And Brash, Tom Gordon actually did everything right there. He just didn't take the mark. Zoned off his defender as soon as he knew the ball wasn't going there and got to the contest.
Yeah, he's done everything. He's done well today, Tom Gordon, in his return game. He did exactly what I reckon Ryan James would have said. Run off J-Mar as much as you can and be that creative player.
I'm just a bit worried about Doncaster going forward with their scoring, because I thought, we looked at today, we didn't know how J-Mar would go, and obviously, he doesn't look like he's fit enough to be able to be a real key target in a Premier Division team.
So this time last week, Doncaster East ran literally out of time with the last 6 goals to only go down by less than a kick against Vermont.
Yeah.
But we're no danger of Doncaster East losing this game as they control the ball. It's like if you had a heat map, the ball would be from left half back to, it'd be in red, and the rest of the ground would be nice and green. So it's really, they've just controlled it around half back from one side to the other, and at their will, they look to see the middle, and if it's open, they'll go.
But what they've done is they've spread all day. They've spread the Doncaster defence, so they can't do what Tom Gordon did. Because Tom Gordon's close enough, he can zone off. You can't zone off if you're 40 metres away, and that's what Ryan James was talking about. They want to make one-on-one contests because they back Phelan, they back Rowe, they back Shalakis, they back Scalia to beat opponents one-on-one. As Marn's kick smothered, centre wing for the Sharks. Could have been a free kick for a shove. Umpire said play on. And then coming through his tweet, he's tried hard all day. He's burst through a couple of defenders there. Got the handball to Spencer. Spencer, short little ball, goes about 8 metres. And Narcus underneath it should get a free kick for holding. Umpire said play on. Barassi's got it now on the forward 50 arc to the top of the goal square. Can the mark be taken by Van der Haar? It can't. Vickers came through, might have been taken high. Got his handball back and then off one step and missing is Minicini. Really should have kicked that one. 6-6-42 the Sharks. Doncaster East 11-21-87. 24 minutes gone in this final term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Gavin, really, Ryan James will be probably disappointed about this because they're losing this quarter. They've only scored, 2 or 3 behinds, when really they should be pushing on past 100 and getting those percentage
They've had 4
boosters.
behinds, but I reckon they've only had 6 inside 50s. That's how much they're trying to control it up half back, and the kick-in didn't find the Santoro, and Santoro watched as it floated over his head into the hands of Giacob, and he'll kick from straight in front, hopefully for his team, their 7th.
Well, like I said, it's making it, on paper, we might look back on this in 6 weeks and go, oh yeah, 40-point win. But really, it should be 80-90.
They haven't really looked like they want to push out this lead. They sort of just wanted to hold the possession in the back half.
Giacob, he's testing the goal umpire and he pumps his chest for a minor score left side of the right post for the kicker. And it's a minor score. Doncaster 6-7-43, trailed by 44 in the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster East 11-21-87.
And we heard from best up three-quarter time that they were keen to push it out. Ryan James wanted them to keep going, and maybe the players have taken it upon themselves as Gordon this time doesn't go short, goes long. At least if he turns it over, they won't be having a shot on goal. He doesn't turn it over though. Scalia. Been impressive all day.
That's the other one.
Oh, is it? Sorry?
Hugh.
34.
Oh, Jones Hughes. Sorry, I saw the 4. He goes short over the top. Finds Stoneham in the 32. He's got Phelan on. Goes low. Tweedy read it and got there. But it's kept in. Eventually he goes over the line for a boundary throwing. One on by Tweedy. Again, for Doncaster, Brash, Ryan. Who have been the players that impressed for me? It's Coghlan, Tweedy. Spencer's good.
And obviously Chris has tried hard, but no support.
Yeah.
That's about I could only find 4.
Yeah. Marn's been good, except he gave away that yellow card in the first quarter where it really set the tone. They've Hendon around it. Gave it to Marn. Got a lot of it. Does well. Poise. Got through there, and they've got a man in the corridor. Finds him. Barassi. He's got a runner over the top of Minicini. Or Minicini. Ignores him. Goes longer still. Gordon will get there. Got the spoil. Jones is underneath it. Minicini is the first to take the ball and just gets wrapped up by Jones. And should he have given the handball there to the runner instead of that kick? Again, might just be a bit of decision making.
Just hasn't been the way they've played today.
Spencer came in unopposed, got it, kicked it forward. Coming off his line there is Haswell. Stepped out of Van der Haar's tackle, gave it off to Jones, and he goes across to Mitchell Ryan. Been one of the 4 runners for the 4 workers, workman of the day, Mitchell Ryan. Probably the lightest player on the Doncaster East list, but he's toiled hard and won the battle against Vickers, although he's turned it over immediately. Commentators curse straight to Tweedy.
So Tweedy looks inboard, centre forward, nice pass, drop ball though by Carlson, gives it back to Hendon. Hendon looks left, looks right, has to go sideways, so it's slowed down in the hands of Milford Robertson. He loads up a long kick, fires. Will the Flying Dutchman get it? I think he's got it, and it's Van der Haar having a shot. Was that a mark? Don't spoil our day by not giving him a shot at goal. Let's see what the decision is. Party pooper. No kick at goal for Doncaster, but it won't matter anyway. It's Doncaster losing today against their local rivals. Doncaster 6-7-43, but the victors, Doncaster East, 11-21-87. The Lions won by 44 points in the derby game, and that is their first win for season 2022. And they're looking good. Good lineup have Donny East. And Matt, can you go through the goal kickers before we talk more about this game?